Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Amanda Dittlinger and I am a neurodivergent woman. And this is my pug Watson, who likes to just be in the intros and then disappear, but whatever. I haven't done a you might be autistic or do you have these 5 autistic traits in a while. So this is part 4 of that series. The last one I did was actually while I was still waiting for my official diagnosis. So since that video, I now am officially diagnosed with autism and ADHD. I also have neurodivergencies of aphantasia and a rare memory disorder called SDAM. And I mention those because while I am talking about autistic traits, sometimes some of these traits can be like a combination of some of these neurodivergencies, and it's hard to tease out, exactly from a lay person. I'm not a medical doctor, what exactly is autism and what isn't. But these are autistic traits that when I was doing research on autism to try to find out if I myself was autistic, that I related to, and so I wrote them down on a sheet of paper and brought them into the psychologist, and he said that he loves it when people who think that they're autistic do this because it actually helps with the diagnosis process. So self-diagnosis is very valid, but if you are going to pursue an official diagnosis, then watching videos like this and writing down where you relate can help you in the diagnosis process. So number 1 for this video. So I've got my list. My list got really long by the time I went in for my official diagnosis. Since then, I've actually mostly stopped writing on it. But yeah. Okay, so number 1, I will mimic actor and actresses' faces on TV shows and movies to kind of figure out what emotion they might be having. And it also will mimic the emoji as I'm typing. I will, like, for instance, if I want a surprised emoji, I will kind of make a surprised face. And even though I don't see it in the mirror and I have aphantasia, so I can't actually visualize what my own face looks like, I know that I just opened my mouth and okay, I want the surprised emoji, and then I will use that emoji. So actually mimicking facial expressions is one way that I identify with emotions. And again, before I got a diagnosis and before I was even remotely aware that I was autistic, I've done this my entire life and just did not actually either really was very conscious of the fact that I did it, or that it was an autistic trait to begin with. Number 2, okay, this one definitely is an autistic trait. It's actually also both an autistic and ADHD trait, but autistic people tend to have special interests. Sometimes it can be something that lasts an entire lifetime, and sometimes it can go from interest to interest. I think a lot of times autistic ADHD people tend to jump from interest to interest. That's me. I will get really, really into a subject, and the thing is, when I'm on a new interest topic, I want to talk about it ad nauseum to everybody who will listen, and it's almost uncontrollable. It's almost like you can't not talk about it. It takes a lot of willpower to not go on about that subject. So, for instance, one of my, latest topics is YouTube and now this channel about neurodivergency. And when I'm on Facebook chat groups and stuff, I want to share about this channel, yes, to make it grow, because I hope that this channel will make a difference in the lives of other people who are either trying to learn about neurodivergencies or who are trying to learn about it for themselves. But also, it's just I can't not talk about it because it is my current interest, and I want to insert it into every single topic and conversation that I can. Number 3, I love to organize, I love labels, and I love categories. When Pinterest came out, I was so excited because I thought, oh, this is how I can organize the internet. And I'm not on Pinterest as much as I used to, but when it was like at its height of popularity, I had so many pins and categories and boards, and it was like anytime I came across something, it was like, oh, I get to like categorize it and label it, and I just absolutely, what are you doing? So this is another area that because of ADHD, I struggle. My autistic self really loves order and I want everything to be organized. I remember one time when my kids were little and I was cleaning up their toy room. Oh my God, when I could actually get their entire toy room clean, I just want to sit in that organized space. It was just amazing. But one time I like color I'm just laughing because I had no idea I was autistic at this time. And I'm not saying that other people, and this goes with all traits, just because you have one of these traits does not mean you're autistic. It's when they start to stack up. It's when, you might be autistic. So I color coded all of their children's books and did them in a rainbow category on the bookshelf. And it was just so beautiful. And I knew they were going to come in and mess it up, but I really appreciated it right when it happened. And then I remember one time they had these dolls and I got this like little box. It was like a fish tackle box. And these were like little miniature dolls that they had. And it was a fish tackling thing. And so tackling, that's not the right word, but you know what I'm talking about. And I like organized all their little shoes and all the little dresses and all the little dolls in each little box. And I was just like, why am I wasting my time? I don't know how old they were, like 5 or 6. Like there's no way they were going to keep that organization. But oh boy, it felt great when they did it. Now my ADHD self has a very hard time keeping that organization level. I would like my house to be so much more organized than it is. And it is fairly organized because of autism. ADHD will also have a little bit of chaos always going on. So behind this camera, you can't see, I got a little chaos going on over here. It's work in progress. Because you know how like when you are organizing a space, it always gets messier before it gets clean. So yeah, right now I am working on organizing my office. So it's a little crazy over there. Okay, number 4. Okay, so ever since I was little, I hated specific noises. Now, as an autistic person, there's a lot of noises that any random loud noise I don't like. But ever since I was very little, there was several very specific noises that I never liked. They always just made me kind of like jump. And I've had to just kind of learn how to deal with them because they're very common household noises. One is a flushing toilet. Hate the flush sound of a toilet. Now, some toilets are quieter than others, or maybe it's different frequency. I don't know. There's some toilets that don't bother me as much as other ones, but I used to I would avoid flushing a toilet. Like when I lived by myself, there were times when I would just like, yeah, TMI, but whatever, okay? I lived by myself. And you've heard that thing, if it's yellow, let it mellow. I won't continue it. But yes, because of not liking that sound, I would avoid flushing the toilet. I don't like it. Now, I live in a household with other people. I do it, but whatever. Another sound is that click or snap. I can't really make the sound, but of a door or a cabinet closing. It's really short. It's really fast sound. But I hate it. So I will leave doors open all the time because I don't like that clicky sound. And it's so funny because I've done that ever since I was very young and I had no idea why. And the last one for this video is that, okay. The last one for this video is the fact that I like to wear noise dampening earplugs when I go grocery shopping. Now, I only recently started doing that because I only recently learned that these were a product that existed. I would have been doing it for many, many, many years if I had known these things existed. Now, those foam earplugs, I actually have been sleeping with those for years and years and years. The bright orange foam earplugs. I have to sleep with them. I can't stand any noises while I'm sleeping, but they're too good for like grocery shopping because I do want to hear things when I'm shopping, but I cannot stand all the loud cart noises, people talking, and the music that my grocery store blasts through the loudspeaker. So grocery shopping, I love to cook, but the process of actually grocery shopping always would mentally exhaust me by the end because of having to try to tune out noises. So when I learned about noise dampening earplugs, I started wearing them, and they have made grocery shopping so much more pleasant for me. I actually did a review over on my other channel, Dot, on loop earplugs, and I really like them. And on this channel, I think it was my last video, I did a review on Hearprotek noise dampening earplugs, and I love them both, and I recommend both brands. The loop is more visible. You can see them in your ear. The Hearproteks are very, very discreet, and you can hardly see them. So it's just kind of like a personal preference because I think they both work really well. Okay. Oh, just because I don't want to go without mentioning this, stimming is definitely an autistic trait. And ever since I kind of decided to embrace my autism, I would buy fidget toys for my kids, and then as an adult secretly be kind of jealous because I'm like, oh, this looks really cool, but I didn't want to spend the money or, on myself. But I didn't realize how good they would actually make me feel. I can talk and think better when my hands are busy. So this is one of my favorite. This is kind of the bonus one. I think I've mentioned it almost in every video though. This is one of my favorite fidgets. It's just a bunch of silicone ropes, and I like them because you can twist them, you can tie them in knots, you can hold a bunch of them at once, you can braid them, they just feel good, you can squish them. They're very quiet also, because in some situations you really need a quiet fidget. So I love these, and I got these on Amazon, and I will link them down below, and anytime you use my Amazon links, it helps the channel, so I appreciate it. So those are the 5 autistic traits that I'm going to talk about in this video. Make sure that you check out the other 3 that I have. And if you're interested in my self-diagnosis journey, I created a playlist that talks about the process that I went from like, oh my gosh, am I autistic, to actually getting an official diagnosis. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.